In today's video, we're going to be learning how you can create these cinematic planets right within Blender, super easily, super fast, highly customizable, so that you can create infinite variations with just this single setup. So let's begin. First off, we're going to delete the default cube as usual, and we're going to add in a UV sphere. Now we want this UV sphere to be really smooth, so we're going to add in a subdivision surface modifier at level 5. We're also going to increase the render to 5 as well. So you could either add it in manually like this, or you could press Ctrl 5 to get this subdivided sphere. Now we can just scale the sphere up by 2 to make it a lot larger, and then we can go ahead and place our light where we want it to be. So let's take the light and just press Alt G to clear the location, then grab it on the Y-axis and just move it back a bit, and then grab it on the Z-axis and just move it up just like that. Now we can take our camera, press Alt G and Alt R to clear location and rotation, then rotate it on the X-axis by 90 degrees, grab it on the Y-axis and just move it back. And then we can go ahead and add in an empty, which is going to control our camera. So let's add in the empty and scale it up. And now we can take the camera, select the empty and Control P and set parent to object. So now when we press 0, we'll go into our camera view and we can actually take a look at what's seen. Now, larger objects generally have a focal length really large to actually get all of it in. So we'll give this a focal length of 100, and that should give a feeling of scale. However, the planet is not fitting within the camera, so we're just going to grab our camera on the y-axis and just move it back till it fits in. But it doesn't have to completely fit in because only a part of the planet will be seen for these cinematic shots. So let's maybe move it in like this, and then we're going to go ahead and grab it on the z-axis to move it up just like that, and we'll do all of our settings in this position for now. However, we don't want anything outside the camera to be seen, so we're going to go to viewport display and switch passport out all the way to 1. So now looking at it, I think I'll just grab it on the z-axis a bit higher, and we'll work with this for now. So now let's go into the rendered viewport shading and see what it looks like. So clearly you can see that the light is affecting only the top rim, and we need it to affect a lot more than that. So we're just going to go ahead and increase the power to something like 5000 instead of 1000, and we're going to increase the radius to something large like 4 meters. The next thing is it's all behind, but the camera is in front. So we're just going to grab it on the y-axis and just move it up to about there. And now let's look into our camera view, and that's what it currently looks like. Maybe we can grab it on the y-axis and just move it back a bit more and reduce the radius to 3. So now let's actually start working with the planet. But before that as well, let's go to the world and just set our color all the way to black. So now we're going to go ahead and bring our cursor to the junction of these two windows, click and drag to add in a new window, and then we're going to change the type to the shader editor. Now we're going to add in the new material, and we're going to play with the Musgrave texture because that has the multifactorial effects, and we can use that to our advantage. So we can just take the Musgrave texture, press Ctrl Shift click to actually see what it looks like, and this is the general Musgrave texture. But what we're going to do is we're going to change the FBM to ridged multifractal, and that way you get this particular shape. And the cool thing about this is that you can go ahead, increase the grain, and you'll start seeing the actual fractal pattern come in. However, it seems like there's not enough information to create the fractals, so we go ahead and just increase the detail, and that gives it this really cool fractal pattern. Now to get this to go even further away from the main sections, we can go ahead and just decrease the dimension and slowly reduce it till we get exactly what we want. So I think a dimension of 0.25 is looking really good and acts like all of the cracks in the planets, and looks like all of those details that you can generally find on a planet. However, as we generally do, we're going to add in a second layer of detail, and in order to do that, we'll go ahead and press Ctrl T with the node wrangler switched on to add in a texture coordinate and mapping node. And then before we put in the generated coordinates into the mapping, we're going to add in a little bit more detail. So we're going to search for a mix RGB node and place that in right over here. And we're going to mix it with another Musgrave texture. We can press Shift D, bring that down here, and on this one, we can go ahead and just decrease the gain to something like 50, as well as decrease the dimension or increase it to something like 0.8, and then we can place this height into the second color. So now when you take a look at it, you get this really cool effect that looks like paint being mixed, and it's super awesome. However, This right now doesn't look exactly like what I wanted. This currently looks a little too artificial. So we can go ahead and just decrease the scale on this Musgrave texture until we get what we want. So for now, I think a dimension of 0.3 looks good and a scale of 1.8 is working fine with a gain of 50. You could also go ahead and increase the gain in case that's what is looking better for you. So I finally decided to keep the gain at 100, and this is what it currently looks like. And that's already looking like a really cool planet. However, it's black and white, and we want it to have some sort of color. So now we can go ahead and plug this height into the base color of the principled BSDF and Control Shift click the principled BSDF to see what we have. We can also press 0 to go back into our camera view, and this is the planet that we currently have. To give it its color, we can pass this through a color ramp, or we can search for a mix RGB node and then just place that in over here and make color to whatever color we want the planet to actually be. So right now I'm going to make bluish planet initially. Let's make it all the way to blue and make it a slightly brighter blue as well. And the next thing is that a lot of this planet is reflecting all the light on top, and that's because the planet is not completely rough, but actual planets would be rough. So let's go ahead and increase the roughness all the way to 1, and that's what we currently have. So we have this nice blue little planet, and if we want more whiteness, we can just reduce the factor and more white comes in. And if we want it to be completely blue, we can just increase the factor all the way to 1. However, I'm going to mix it to a factor of 0.3, and this is what I want my planet to look like. The next thing is that planets, at least cinematic ones, have a little bit of bump. So we're going to press Shift A and search for a bump node, and we'll plug the output of the first Musgrave texture directly into the height of the bump node and connect the normal into the normal of the principled BSDF. Now this is going to make it go completely crazy because the strength is set all the way to 1, and generally at a planet's scale you wouldn't get textures this detailed. However, this could be useful in other situations, suppose a desert roadmap or something like that, but that's not what we want for this particular planet. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and just change the strength from 1 all the way to 0.05, and now there's going to be just a little bit of bump, and that's going to add a lot to your planet. Once you have that set, you can actually add in a few more layers to give it some atmospheric feel and things like that. However, the complication of that is up to you. I'll just go through one last method of adding in a little bit of haze, and that is adding a layer weight node and using the Fresnel to decide the outer areas and give it a little bit of hue. So what we're going to do is search for a color ramp and plug that in right here. Take the Fresnel output and plug it into the factor. Control Shift click the color ramp so that you see what it currently looks like, and that's not really too well done. So let's decrease the blend a little bit so that the gradient is much better, and just increase the black down here just so that it's mostly the edges that are affected and not really the center. So once we have this set up, we can use this to affect yet another mix RGB node. So let's just duplicate that mix RGB node, plug this in here, and this time we're going to make the color a lot brighter and a lot desaturated, but we'll keep it at the same blue. And then we're going to take this color value from here and plug it into the factor. And now when we Control Shift click the principled BSDF, we're going to get a little bit of haze added into the planet. So if you switch off the overlays, this is what it currently looks like. And if you want to give it some cinematic motion, all you have to do is set all of your animation defaults. Let's go ahead and do that. In the render properties, let's switch on blue. And then in our output properties, let's go ahead and change our frame rate to 30 frames per second. And set the end to 150 so that it's a 5-second long animation. Go ahead and change the output folder to wherever you feel like. And we can call this cinematic planet.mp4 and just decheck file extensions. Then we're going to change the file format to FFmpeg video and the encoding from Matroska to MPEG-4, and the output quality, we're going to set it to perceptually lossless. Then we're going to choose the empty that we parented the camera to. We're going to go to frame 1, and we're just going to rotate it on the x-axis till just the outer edge of the planet is visible. So something like that. And then we're going to press I, rotation. And then at around frame 150, we're just going to rotate it about the x-axis till we get a lot more of the planet seen. So maybe something like this. And we say I, rotation, and that should be our animation. Of course, this is Bezier, but we're going to switch that to linear, and that'll make it look a lot more cinematic. Now we have bloom switched on, but there's not much of a bloom in this edge over here. We can go back to the light and just increase the strength to something maybe like 15,000, and that should give it a little bit more of a bloom right at the start. And by the time we get to like 150, it's going to be fairly lit on top. If in case that's too much of a glare for you, you can go ahead and just clamp this down at something like 10 and just play around with the settings until you're happy with what you see. So that's how you can create an infinite variation of these planets. All you have to do is play around with these values on both the Musgrave textures, and of course you can give these planets whatever color you want. So you can have a greenish planet. Make sure that you change the haze as well to a greenish haze in case you're doing this. But if you want something like Mars, you can go ahead and make it red, and there, now you have a reddish planet like Mars. And the possibilities are limitless and completely up to you. So hopefully you can use this to create cinematic planets and just add in some epic music in the background and end up with something super creative. I hope you have fun with this, and until the next video comes out, don't forget to stay creative.